Hello, my name is Omar Al-Basri. I'm one of your AHEAD PIs for Digital Logic this semester, and today I wanted to go over programming your board after you've created a Quartus project. If you haven't watched the first Quartus tutorial, I really recommend going back and watching that. We're going to be using the same project. So, the first thing that you want to make sure before you want to program your board is that you have installed the USB blaster drivers. They're located in the directory where you installed Quartus under drivers and then USB blaster drivers. There is a tutorial, there's a document on the website about how to troubleshoot if the drivers aren't working. But the first thing that we're going to do is that before you want to program your board, you need to make sure that you do a full compile of the design. Previously, when you were just simulating, running just the analysis and synthesis works fine, but now that we're doing a full compile, we have to make sure that we do the entire thing. Now, after we do that, we're going to head over to this document right here, which is located at mil.ufl.edu/docs DE10-Lite pins.pdf. This is a document made by Professor Schwartz, who teaches digital logic in the spring and summer, and it's kind of a guide to all of the pins on the DE10. When you program through Logisim, you have the nice little graphical interface, and what it's doing in the background is that it's assigning inputs and outputs to these different pins. So if you want to use the slide switches, let's say you want to use slide switch 0 and 1, which are the ones on the very right side of the DE10, you're going to be doing pin C10 and C11. If you want to use the LEDs that are on top of the switches, that's pin A8 and pin A9, and so on. And when you're programming it through Quartus, you have to do these things manually. So, to assign pins to the board, you're going to go to Assignments and then Pin Planner. You want to make sure that you've run the analysis and synthesis first, so that way these will show up here. And now you can put locations. So, I want these two inputs to be on switches, and I want this last one to be on an LED. So, going back to this document, I can see that switch 0 and switch 1 are on pin C10 and pin C11. So we're going to type pin C10, and then after that, pin C11. Then I want the output to be on an LED, and we're just going to use LED 0, so that's going to be pin A8. So we're going to back here, and we're going to go pin A8. Now that we've done that, we can close it out to save it, and then we need to do one more full compile. Then, if you want to be sure that your DE10 is actually there, you can go to Tools and then Programmer, and you'll see here that under Hardware Setup, there should be USB Blaster 0, and this is going to indicate that your DE10 is plugged into your computer. If you do not see USB Blaster 0 or 1, it might be a different number, then you'll want to be sure that you followed the troubleshooting steps and make sure that you have the USB Blaster drivers installed. Now we just have to wait for these last steps. And now we can go ahead and program our board. So let's not save our changes there. We're going to go to Tools and then Programmer, and you'll see here right now it's programming the SOF. This means that when you turn off your board, the program, or when you unplug your board, the program will go away, which is what we want. You're going to want to make sure that this program/configure is checked. It should be on USB Blaster 0, and then afterwards you can click Start, and it's going to take a little bit. You'll see the progress bar up here, and then it's going to program your DE10. Now you can see, if I turn this camera on, right now all of these other LEDs are on because we haven't assigned anything to them, but we can see these two switches will now control that LED as a NAND gate. So you'll see if I put one switch up, nothing changes. If I put the other switch up, nothing changes. But if I put both switches up, now the LED turns off like the behavior of a NAND gate. You can set the inputs and outputs to whatever pins you need depending on the assignment. The most common ones that you're going to be using are these push buttons. These are key 0 and key 1, where key 0 is the top button and key 1 is the bottom button. These are going to be mainly used for clock signals. You're going to want to be sure that you're going to also want these 7-segment displays. Hex 0 is the rightmost one on the board, so it starts from there. And then you'll want to make sure that when you're programming the 7-segment display as well, that you make sure to put the pins in the correct order, or else it's going to kind of look inverted and weird. Besides that, we're not doing any breadboarding, so the stuff about the GPIO pins and the Arduino headers can basically be ignored. Besides that, this was a short tutorial for how to program your board. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me or any other members of the PI team, and happy designing!